Talking about Sam Constance 5 minutes ago. Now I'm talking about fascism.
How did we get from Sam Constance to fascism? Because they're definitely unrelated.
Episode 5. That was really good. Really well done. We're back.
We're so back and we're back again.
I like that we say we're back every single week with a hint of surprise, dare I say.
One day it won't be surprising anymore. It will just be natural. It will be normal. It will just be what we do. And it will be what you do on a Wednesday when you're listening to this.
Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Every Wednesday. Every 9 a.m.
You've committed yourself to a time now.
It's always 9 a.m.
Yeah, you always post at 9 a.m. but the YouTube video goes out as and when.
And apologies to those of you on YouTube. Hey, maybe... I'm going to wave. Maybe this is the week that there is video.
I think this could be a video of vodcast.
Vodcast. Oh no, I didn't shave my legs. Cut. No, I'm not an Olympic swimmer.
Well, if it is a vodcast, are you going to compliment my hair?
Clara recently, and by recently I mean yesterday, got her hair done. And she very, very, I think, tastefully, tactfully, dare I say, put a message into a group chat yesterday of her and a hairdresser's, just to kind of, I think, lay the foundation of, I'm getting my hair done.
Can I clarify that actually I sent a photo of the weird mug and the weird spoon, and I was in the background having my hair done.
You happened to be having...
But the topic of conversation was not me, it was the weird mug and the weird spoon, which you have to grant me were weird.
There was, I'm going to try and explain this for the people at the back. And by the back, I mean behind the camera. Imagine a spoon, but then imagine a very big hill in the middle of the spoon. And by the middle of the spoon, I mean the handle, right?
I'd say it was just after the ladle section of the spoon. You have a quite a large bend before it then resumes normal service with the rest of the handle.
Almost like an oxbow lake.
Yes.
If
an oxbow lake were to be a spoon, that's what it was.
Thanks, guys.
And the mug had what can only be described as a sort of helter-skelter handle, which was neither practical nor aesthetically pleasing.
No, and also in terms of helter-skelter, I think it's important to know that we don't support Charles Manson or the Manson family and the bringing about of helter-skelter. Familiar?
As in the cult?
Yeah.
What's that got to do with the fairground, right?
You said helter-skelter, and helter-skelter, I do believe, was the name of their, supposed kind of doomsday.
Oh.
Yeah. This is now a true crime podcast.
We're so multifaceted.
So speaking of multifaceted, we've got an absolute humdinger off the back of England playing India this week. They're playing India right now. I'm going to check my phone. Hey guys, come with me to check my phone on day 3 of England versus India. Okay.
Like a little judge.
This is good. The current state of play. I say this is good. The first thing I do see is England trail India by 348 runs with 5 wickets remaining. Shout out to the CricViz app. The good news, Brooke, 90 off 125. Jamie, Smudger, Smith, 93 off 78. Now, permission to rant a little bit.
Please, I'll just sit here and not pay attention.
Any time an England player starts to get near a rapid century, are you familiar with the concept of Gilbert Jessop?
No.
Gilbert Jessop, allegedly, I say allegedly, because I'm going to get my facts and numbers straight here before I put falsehoods out into the world. Gilbert Jessop, right, born 1874.
That was a while ago.
That is a while ago. He played Test cricket a while ago.
Is he still playing now?
I think Chennai Super Kings released him in the last kind of IPL cycle, so I think he's probably between clubs right now.
Okay, looking for a presenter gig.
Allegedly, Mr. Jessop scored 100 off of 76 balls.
Okay.
The problem with this is there's no actual record of it. They're like, we think, and I say why I think, there was literally a story this week where they were like, oh, maybe it was even quicker. Hey, we're going to give you a range of balls that maybe he did it in between. So what you're telling me, right, this is after records began.
Yeah.
Can you have a record before records began? Like, really? Like, when you say records and you're referring to a record, what do you mean by that?
I think they're referring to a systematic log of performance. Because records could be anything, right? Like,
yes,
a cave painting is a record.
Yeah.
They obviously weren't playing cricket in prehistoric times that we know of. Because there may not be a record, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. However, if records began, then I would say that's a formalised system of recording records.
Ding, ding, ding. When we talk then about the fastest century, as
Yes.
we've been doing in the last half an hour with Jamie Smith, which he has not gotten, boo. The conversation is always like, oh yeah, but Gilbert Jessup holds the record. But then we'll all talk about records. Every other record about is since records began.
Yeah.
But we should instead just be on what's the fastest century since records began.
And when would you argue that records began? Are you saying that Mr. Jessup's century was not recorded?
I think there is an official date of when records began. Because, again, if I'm talking complete waffle here, there is a big thing in cricket that back in ye old times, they measured innings by length of time, not balls. They didn't really pay attention how many balls a player faced. So that's why we get...
Wasn't it all just declaration cricket?
Yeah,
really?
It's just having a laugh with your mates at the oval, not even the Kia oval at that point.
Just the Kennington Oval.
Yeah.
Which is where it is.
I've got that off my chest now. It's stupid. And every time I hear or see about the legitimacy of Gilbert Jessup...
You're questioning it.
It's stupid.
Okay.
I'm a man of...
and who would you give the record to then?
Whoever, since we had a formal system of counting balls in innings, has the fastest century. But let's be honest, it probably was Johnny Bairstow at Trent Bridge in 2022.
And who are you taking this up with? Are you emailing the ICC?
I think it's fundamental to know that this is just a quirk of English cricketing history, right? Like, we can't blame the ICC for this. Like, we have to probably blame, like, the British government.
Yes.
I think probably Keir has to answer
when you
for
were
this.
Using the word blame, and then you landed on the government, and I thought, fine.
Yeah, I'm not going to name names. Keir Starmer. So this is the problem is, right, it's Sadiq Khan's London, isn't it? Like, you score a century and you're like, how many balls do you fancy today? I don't know, 48. Sadiq Khan's London, obviously.
I think this is where we have to sort of declare.
I was doing a declaration gesture for any non-visual fans. What are we declaring?
That we don't actually hate Sadiq Khan's London.
I don't think it's funny if we have to state that. I think the joke is... We've got...
I think it should be obvious from the rest of our sort of output that we're not actually, like, raging right-wingers.
I think this is probably something that, needs to be said. Put me on the record, I say, as I make the edit. I think this is a woke cricket podcast. I think it's woke. I think we're woke.
Yeah, unfortunately,
it's so lame, isn't it? Like, God, we've got podcast microphones. Just imagine things we could be saying, and instead we're like, it's bad when cricket has access issues.
I woke up this morning and I realised that cricket's elitist.
No. Sometimes me reading a copy of Crickonomics on the tube and shaking my head just to know that I disagree with the disproportionate amounts of opportunity awarded to private school students.
But I haven't read all of Crickonomics, but I have started it, and I do find the difference between the percentage of bowlers who went to state schools and batters who went to private schools, for example. I think that is so interesting.
Yes.
That obviously... Are we getting into this now?
Yeah, it's a historical quirk, isn't it, right, of how cricket used to be played.
And I just find that absolutely fascinating, because obviously you think about schools like Millfield, which is like the big cricket one, right?
Yeah.
And how much time and resource they have that they can put into surfaces and coaches and net sessions. And obviously other schools don't have that same level of resource or time. So then the book was saying that they become better bowlers because often the surfaces are more uneven. So you have to learn, like, properly how to read and use a surface.
Yes.
Whereas batters who went to private school have obviously had their 1,000 hours.
Yeah.
And I've never ever thought about that before. But
No.
I thought that was really interesting. I do need to go back and read the whole book.
It's fascinating. And again, I will cut this out if I turn out to be completely wrong and stupid. I think there is a historical element too, that way back in the olden days, gentlemen would bat, and they would essentially just get people in, the common folk, to be the bowlers, because the point of cricket is batting. It's where, like, the batriarchy comes from, if you'll let me take it there. The concept, right, that cricket and all its rules is governed by this natural bias towards batting, and batting is good.
Yeah.
And it's why we get these surfaces in, like, T20s now where you can score like 280 because, like, runs are good, runs are proper, we don't care about bowling. It is deeply rooted in the fact that the game started as a point where, like, the poshos wanted to bat, so they just need someone to throw the ball.
And here we are.
It's
with this
so-
round of the county championship having 31 centurions.
Which was nuts.
That is nuts.
It's nuts. And I think it's to the point where, like, how many centuries is too many centuries? That's a serious-ish question.
Well, I think, right, if you're the bowling team, sorry to Alex Lees, and 3 people have got centuries, and one of those people has a triple ton, that is possibly the worst day out you could possibly think of. And it was 30 degrees. I was there. I was watching it.
Can we also talk about the fact, cricket up and down the country since time began. Any time the temperature is hot and your captain wins the toss and says, we'll have a bowl, thanks. Bad day. To do it and then let the other team put up 800. Very bad day.
If I was a fielder, I'd be at third man because I'm so spare. That would have been the longest day of my entire life. I was sweating and I was sat in the media centre.
The hours of play don't change even when it's hot, so it wouldn't have been the longest day. It would have been as long as any other day.
Well, we're actually quite near to the summer solstice. Fuck. Well, actually, the summer solstice was quite recent, so I think it's one of the longer days.
Yeah. Okay. It was sunny. We can agree it was sunny. Yeah,
I think I'm going to sing every week.
I think you should, yeah. It's funny, we get a drop-off around the same point every week. I don't know what could explain that.
Instant X out.
But that's also a thing, right, with England and India, right? Mm-hmm. England under Ben Stokes win the toss, will have a bowl, because chasing the big day 4, day 5
exciting,
chase
right?
it's
the
ooh la la.
Exhilaration of the chase.
Va-va-voom. Oh, you need this much to win.
Yes.
Equally, like, ever having to be there fielding when it's hot, bad. And here's the thing, I'm going to have to put this as a disclaimer because I am, for the annoying people, brackets, the other Dan Booths out there. Yes, if you look at Test cricket, statistically, you are more likely to win if you choose to bowl first. That is a serious thing.
I liked bowling first as a captain.
You like bowling first?
I like bowling first. Yeah, I usually chose to bowl first because obviously wasn't reading any sort of anything into university cricket pitches.
Yeah.
B, it was almost always slightly wet, so it wasn't that there was no point thinking about it might dry out in the afternoon. No, also we're not playing games long enough for that to be an issue. Also, I like the mental security of knowing what number we have to have.
I think
that's enjoyable. I don't like foray into the unknown by setting your own target that you have to defend. Embarrassing, because if you don't defend it, you're embarrassed. However, if you bowl first, they get the whatever total they get, and then you're chasing. You have a goal in mind. It's like counting down when you're doing reps at the gym.
Yeah. I think it's, first of all, I'm not going to nitpick, but 1 and 2 clashed because you said I wasn't reading the pitch. And then you said, but the pitch was always a bit wet. So you kind of wanted to have a bowl first. So actually, congratulations, you were reading the pitch.
Yay.
But also, you have cracked it there, right? And that is a thing at any level of cricket. It's so much easier when you know what you're chasing, particularly in a limited overs match, right? Is it easier to think, well, we probably could do with X amount of boundaries per over? Or is it, well, we need 10. So let's go for 2 to 3 boundaries off 6 balls.
Because also, right, if you're going out to bat first, all you're thinking is, I just need to get as many runs as I possibly can. And that's intimidating. That is a scary mental task. Whereas, as you say, if you're going in and you're like, well, I need 4, I'll just whack it.
Yeah.
I think that's so much easier as a mental outing.
Yeah. Bowl first enthusiast.
I say, as number 11.
I was going to say, and how many runs were you putting? You weren't bowling. You were number 11, but you weren't opening the bowling. Is rough.
I was first or second change.
First or second change.
And
specialist captain.
I was going to say we've established I was a specialist captain. I was a specialist morale booster, believe it or not.
Basically, you were just Ben Stokes.
Yeah.
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 Bowl first or second change. Not really adding much
Get
with the bat at this point. Get a first ball literally
but the
today.
Vibes were there.
But you were like, hey
I
guys.
brought the aura. I'm going to let people from uni correct me on that.
I'm going to say that sometimes the best thing you can do is not respond at all. So I'm not going to respond.
Okay. I'd like to formally announce that I don't believe I have aura.
Really good, because I could have just let that slide. Like, hey, I won't include them. No, that's definitely going in there. The thing, though, about it, right, is we accept that maybe for a few days watching a test match is going to be quite a profoundly painful experience and suck.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you watch T20, it is over in like 3 to 4 hours, depending on, you know, the number of adverts you can cram into it. What I think we need, right, and definitely not just inspired by a bus advert that I saw this morning, is we just need Hollywood, right, to come in and take a test match and turn it into a 2.5 hour film. Because I'm seeing a lot about the Formula One film, right? You know?
Yes.
Cool stuff. Wow. They filmed, you know, at the actual circuits. Oh my God, look, it's Charles Leclerc. Good for the sport. And I appreciate, hey, look, the world of Bollywood has had more than its fair share of cricket or cricket adjacent films. When do we just convince a really, really, really rich person in Hollywood to just like turn some stupid cricket match into a film?
Sounds like something Danny Boyle could do.
Yeah, but then it would be like vaguely experimental. And I've realised that I'm going to come across as shallow here, but I think what all I ever want my sport to kind of be given is like the super glossy treatment of like everyone is gorgeous, but also probably like 30 years older than they're actually like supposed to be.
So what would you have? What would be the subject of the film?
What would be the plot of the film? I think it's important to know that every sports film on a base level is the same, right?
Yeah, it's all about the redemption arc.
Yeah, so they have to be washed. It has to start off with someone who is washed and they're like, they just can't do it anymore. Oh, it's their final test match of their career.
And are you making this about a specific existing player, or are you creating your protagonist as an amalgamation of lots of different elements of lots of different players?
I think it always has to be an amalgamation, but what that essentially always actually amounts to is the exact same story every time. If it's just, you know, old pilot, driver, athlete, person. Yeah. Oh, the game's moving on so much. They're just surrounded by all these young bucks. You know, the 5th test of the Ashes and it's 2-2. Oh no, a young star's been injured. Who are we inexplicably going to call up a 40-year-old man?
Jason Roy.
J-Roy. Yeah, I would actually just pay really good money to watch a Hollywood film basically glorifying Jason Roy. But the exact plot of it is that he comes back to save the England test side. That's what the thing is that I unfortunately like would compare him to. It's like, I asked myself this the other day, is Jason Roy just like the Katy Perry of cricket? Because right, you have to follow me with this one.
Okay, I'm
concerned.
No, I'm ready to listen.
J-Roy, Katy Perry.
Yes.
If you look back in the day, Katy Perry,
big in 2012.
Well, obviously not the same year because Jason Roy was not big in 2012.
Forgive me for being pre my interest.
Look, we'll get there.
I was into Katy Perry, but not aware of Jason Roy.
So back in the day, right, teenage dream period, banger after banger.
Make me feel like I'm living a
teenage dream.
Well,
we're harmonising, yeah. I thought I'd go for it, and it worked. I have quite a good musical ear, not to brag. Bangers,
You've
right?
got so much vocal fry on, by the way.
Yeah.
I think you need to move out of your LA influencer.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's no good.
No, back to talking normally, if I may.
Yes, please.
Banger after banger, you're like, this can't stop. Like, she's just on such a roll right now. Then, you know, the game moves on. How do we say that? The game moved on. And there was suddenly a point where you were like, she's just not getting into the first team anymore. She's just not opening the batting anymore.
She's been replaced by a younger, hotter version of her, Dua Lipa.
Yes.
Not to pit women against each other.
I was going to say, you've literally just, first of all, basically just reduced her 50%
I'm really
to
sorry,
looks.
Katie.
You've reduced women to their looks, and you've also pitted 2 women against each other who really, like, the UK-US markets are very different, so...
And also, no, I don't think I'm going there.
What?
Well, so me and my friend used to listen to Katy Perry while we were playing with our Barbies.
Yeah.
And obviously, when I Kissed a Girl came on, we would make our Barbies kiss.
Cool, yeah. That's fine, to be honest.
And that's quite a seminal part of my childhood.
Yeah. Hey, I'm happy you feel comfortable sharing this with the millions.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's okay to be gay.
Yes.
I'm not, but my Barbies were. And that's fine.
Yeah. Hey, look. I think as we've established, like the second thing we said today is this is obviously a woke podcast. So if you're not cool with gay people, probably shouldn't be listening. You probably wouldn't have landed here in the first place. No. Like, I like to think the entire time we've been pretty clear. We're like good blokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, good bloke
Who's
podcast.
more blokey out of me and you? I don't think I want the answer to be me, but it isn't you.
It isn't me. What does that even mean?
Well, you're not a bloke, are you? You're a baby girl.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You're just a good bloke, and I'm baby girl.
Quite famously a bad bloke.
Yeah, you are a terrible bloke.
But we're leaving that there.
Yeah, that's Jason Roy, right?
Jason Roy. Speaking of good
50
blokes.
over cricket. My goodness, the run he was on from the mid to late 2010s. You know, Firework, Teenage Dream, California Girls. He just kept putting out hit after hit after hit. All of a sudden, you're like, where are my top 10 singles, Jason? Oh, yeah, you're not going to come to the T20 World Cup, Jason. Oh, you're not going to come to the 50 over World Cup, Jason. I'm now watching him play county champ games for Surrey with tears in my eyes. Good blast this year.
Happy tears, sad tears.
Happy to see him, but I'm also like, I just wish he was still playing international cricket because
Okay.
I've never moved beyond my teenage years, because why would I?
Yeah, it does get worse off.
So I do fear that, like, J. Roy, Katy Perry, like, there's a lot going on there. I mean, I think the good question from that is, like, if we were taking it one step further and just
we will.
we almost certainly will, just pop girlies of the current day
Yes, okay.
to, like, men's cricketers, because it's funnier that way than, like, pitting women against women, for example.
Which we was
do all the time. We do that off camera all the time.
You can't tell people that. That's an industry secret. Okay. If we're doing
I've got
this,
the ball rolling, so I feel like you owe me.
if we're
one.
doing this, I'm proposing Joe Root, Taylor Swift.
Sell it to me, because
You're not convinced. You're not convinced by this take, but I am going to endeavour.
you've said this to me before, and I've.
Number one, universal appeal.
Yeah, I mean, we all love him. Like, and like, hey, the thing is, you've got a Root innings for any situation.
And there's a Taylor Swift song for any situation that you've ever been in life.
Yeah.
And sure, the caveat is that some people vehemently hate Taylor Swift, but I think those people are deeply, deeply troubled, because what you have to accept is that if you don't like her, unless you're listening to the radio,
Okay.
you don't have to listen to her.
Yes.
You are not subjected to Taylor Swift enough to hate her. And I also think the people who hate Taylor Swift hate women, but that's a different question.
So, do people who hate Joe Root also hate women?
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
Because Joe Root, as you say, is just very good at what he does and has been for a very long time.
Yes.
He's the only person in this test squad who remains from the 2021 squad.
Yeah,
Okay.
which obviously breaks my heart on so many levels. We've lost so many good dudes.
We have.
Some less good ones, but
And yet, Joe Root remains.
Yes.
Much like Taylor Swift going through
Anything, really.
anything. I'm going to restart that. And they just have the longevity, right? Like that. Neither of them are showing any signs of stopping yet.
No, hit after hit.
And I would say they both have eras.
I would also say, right, that like post-captaincy Joe Root enjoyed the renaissance of like post-Evermore and Folklore Taylor Swift, where it was no longer about
Exactly.
the pressure of captaincy or
It was just
mass
about the love of
celebrity.
the
It was
game.
just go out and churn runs, or
Bang out a 3-hour set.
yeah,
It's basically the same thing. Joe Root bats for 3 hours. Taylor sings for 3 hours.
yeah. He didn't bat for 3 hours today. Sorry, Joe.
No.
Sorry, Joe.
But he has probably batted for 3 hours over the course of his life.
Almost certainly he's batted
I'd
for 3
say,
hours. Probably a couple more.
How many hours? Oh, question. Who do you think has spent more time doing what they do? Do you think Joe Root has batted for more hours than Taylor Swift has performed?
Yes.
Okay, show me the maths.
So,
Of which I have none, obviously.
oh, this is a really good point. A Taylor Swift era show
Bearing
was
in mind,
3 hours long.
yes, but
And
also she's,
how many?
well, famously born in 1989.
Yes.
So she's 36, but her
this
birthday's in December.
Her birthday's in December.
So she's turning 36. How
Yeah.
old is Joe Root?
Is Joe Root 34, and is his birthday not in?
Is it not also December?
Yeah, or January. I think he's
Who am I Googling? Joe Root.
Rooty.
34, 30th of December 1990. Whoa,
Hey,
we're good at this.
I'm going to one-up you so soon, but I'm going to let you indulge in this,
Okay,
in my
fine,
great
sure.
theory.
Okay, so they're both.
So
they average out at being 35 years old.
Yeah, ish. Like, it's hard, right? Because how many, talent shows and concerts was she doing? Back when she was a wee. But he was batting all that time.
When did he start playing cricket?
Almost probably as soon as he could walk. Like, I feel like it's in his veins.
But so's performing for Taylor.
I think this is a really good question. I can't wait for someone to actually do the maths and say that like one of them obviously way more.
Yeah. But
because
so
the thing is, obviously
been
the thing
singing
is,
and playing cricket since they were 4 years old. Let's for argument's sake, they've both been doing their craft for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a long time.
It's a long time. No wonder he's so good.
Okay, but you said you were going to one-up me, so who have you got?
Yeah, we're going to put that one to the crowd because someone can figure it out. Hey, if you can figure out who's probably performed more. We're saying perform, I think, batting as a perform. Do we count training?
But there's no way that we could possibly know unless either of them tell us. And I think Joe Root telling us how many hours he's trained.
If you're listening, when you're listening, because you'll probably get around to this after the second test.
Maybe he listens to this to sort of relax.
Yeah.
I would.
Oh, hey. Hi, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
I'm going to one-up you, and I think this is where we have, a debate of our time, which is the Steve Smith-Joe Root debate. Okay. I think there's a really, really good Steve Smith-Taylor Swift parallel, right? First of all, both born in 1989.
Yeah.
Blonde.
We're all blonde, aren't we?
No, some of us aren't. Right. Steve Smith came into the domain
he naturally blonde?
Yeah, I don't think Steve Smith's getting highlights.
Are you sure? I'm sure.
He just has like kind of dirty blonde hair.
I'm sure I've seen a picture of him with highlights.
He's bleached his hair before when he was like young, but he's still naturally blonde.
Fine. Oh, obviously searching Steve Smith highlights in Google has just brought up his centuries when I'm actually talking about hair.
Yeah, really good.
Maybe I should be searching Steve Smith frosted tips.
Shouldn't we all? Yes, right.
Carry on.
If I may.
Please.
Born 1989. When Steve Smith broke out, the whole concept of him was he was a leg spinner. Mm-hmm. When Tay-Tay broke out, country.
Yes.
Country, leg spin. They're a bit left field. They're a bit out there, but people fundamentally are quite charmed by them. Mm-hmm. Then, somewhere along the line, oh my God, he's got a back and across trigger movement. He's incredible at batting. Oh my God, I've just started working with Max Martin and Jack Antonoff. I'm going to make incredible pop music. They go on a generational run. And then what happens? What happens? The reputation era. So for her, oh my God, I've got so famous that suddenly people don't want me anymore. They've said, we're sick of you. We've seen too much of you. There was the whole Kanye and Kim thing, very weird, all of that. Steve Smith, slightly implicated in a ball tampering scandal. Potato, right?
Which I just think is not the same because Taylor was quite clearly the victim.
Yeah. I'm not gonna trap myself into suggesting that she wasn't there because, as we've said, we support women.
All women.
Yeah. Steve Smith did then cry on the television, pretty rough patch. But then, right, they both come back stronger than ever. His 2019 Ashes, truly the best I've ever seen a player play, full stop. Ridiculously good. Okay. Taylor Swift, right, we look at the Eras tour. Just stronger than ever. And I think, for me, that is enough there to say that those two, they've got a lot going on.
Okay, we'll put it to the people. We would like to know. I'll put a poll on the Instagram story. I can put a poll on the podcast, I think. Yeah. Maybe we'll put it in, when we figure that out, we can do that. Do you think Taylor Swift is more Joe Root or Steve Smith?
Yes. I have a few more for you if you'd like, because I've actually been thinking about this quite a lot since this all started in a WhatsApp exchange. How have I been this week? Yeah. So I think Zach Crawley is Gracie Abrams.
Okay.
Gracie Abrams, right? Because the thing with Gracie, everyone's like, oh my God, she's not a Nepo baby, actually, because, her dad is a famous, successful director, but he's not in the music world, so it doesn't count. But that obviously confers so many benefits. Same with Zach, right?
He's still famous.
Zach's dad, right, isn't, big in the cricketing world, but is obviously an incredibly rich man. And Zach also, knows old Robert Key.
I mean, he went to Tunbridge, which is one of the big cricket schools.
Yes.
But someone I played cricket with at uni went to school. I think it was in the year below Zach Crawley.
Yeah, just name dropping.
Hey.
Yeah, but beyond
6 degrees of separation,
beyond the weird, but people go back and forth then on both of them with Crawley. They're like, oh, but it doesn't count because this. Oh, it does count because that. People do the same with Gracie Abrams. I also think then people have a similar response to their output.
Okay.
Some people are like, yeah, but like she's not actually that good. And some people obviously might say the same about my dear Zach. I disagree. Obviously, Zach, defender. But I think there's something fun there.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't have a counter offer.
I think Shubman Gill's Dua Lipa.
Okay.
Right, because people don't like the IPL because they say it's, you know, it's tacky and it has no depth. People say the same about pure, proper pop music. And who is the queen right now? I'd say pure pop music. It's Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa is the most pop act right now.
Right now, okay.
They
I was going to
also-
say, because surely Ariana's up there somewhere.
Ariana should actually bother releasing music and promoting it to be in these conversations. Sorry, Ari. But, you know, yeah, we get it. You're in Wicked, but, you know, what are you doing
What a
for the
film, by the
other
way.
11 months of the year? Yeah, big
Filming
fan.
Wicked 2. That's what she's doing.
They filmed it already.
Oh. Sorry for not being super embedded into your world.
Yeah, au fait.
As we know, I'm not very au fait with film.
No, you're not. Seen anything good recently?
No.
What?
What was the last film I watched?
What was the last film you watched?
That's such a good question. I haven't watched a film in... Do you know what? I think it was when I watched Bridget Jones 4 again.
Again?
I watched it in the cinema once, and I think I've watched it twice already since going.
Everything okay?
Yeah, it's actually perfectly fine, actually.
I'm gonna offer you a lifeline out of having to talk about emotions by being like, also, what Shubman and Dua both get
Yes.
is the importance of just a really strong like Instagram photo dump, where like if Shubman scores 200 against you, yes, he's scored 200 against you, but he's also going to drop a really like aesthetic kind of carousel at the end of it. And I think as celebrity follows go on Instagram, I think the Dua Lipa photo dump is also one of the stronger ones of like good food, good locations. You're living the life.
To be fair, I don't follow Dua Lipa. The only artist I follow on Instagram is Olivia Rodrigo, because I watched her Glastonbury set and I bawled my eyes out through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Explain that. Not sure.
I was going to say,
Don't know what's going on
for the
there.
second time in 5 minutes, everything okay?
Everything's actually good, but this performance just sort of brought things up for me. And I thought, well, I'll follow Olivia because she seemed pretty cool. Don't follow Dua Lipa on Instagram. However, I did get served her Italy photo dump with Callum Turner, and I thought this is an immaculate dump.
It's so strong. And Shubman's the same. When I see a Shubman Instagram post, I'm excited. I'm like, what have you got for me today, buddy? Speaking of Olivia Rodrigo,
Yes.
Yashasvi Jaiswal. Right, hear me out. The thing about them, right, is at such a young age, they've soared to the top of the game. Headlining Glastonbury.
Where do they go now? Did you watch her performance, by the way?
I was busy during it, but I have seen many bits of it. Sorry for not supporting.
No, that's fine. I only watched it because a dear friend of the show, Nathan, texted me saying, "Are you watching OR?" And I said, "What is that?"
Yeah.
And then he clarified it was Olivia Rodrigo.
Ollie Robinson?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have been.
Could have been.
Potato. I did not watch, but I've watched many Yashasvi performances, and I think there's strong parallels there, right? They've gone to the top in an unbelievable amount of time. Glastonbury, double centuries, really the same thing. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's like the question of, because it's what's next, but there's also no fear or belief that they're going to fall off, right? Because sometimes in pop and in cricket, there's a feeling of like, oh, have they just peaked too soon? I don't have any doubt that like we're going to be seeing these guys in 5 years' time.
No, I would 100% agree. There's theories as well that Olivia Rodrigo is dropping a third album because she's being quite active on social media, which is usually a promotional technique.
It is, isn't it? Right, it builds up the engagements. Then when you drop the album, people are.
And I think that tracks, like doing Glastonbury, bringing out Robert Smith from The Cure.
The Cure.
Bringing out Robert Smith from The Cure. Which, by the way, I need her to release those covers.
Yeah.
Covers? Duets?
Yeah,
Duet cover.
Both.
I need that on album 3. Please, Olivia.
OR3.
Olivia Rodrigo, if you're listening to this podcast.
Friend of the show.
She might be. She likes British things. She's been at Wimbledon.
She has been at Wimbledon, yeah.
You've been at Wimbledon.
I have been at Wimbledon.
Are we addressing that?
Yeah, I've been working at Wimbledon. Any fans of, D.with21, you may have noticed I've been posting in the late hours, just locked in. I think I'm just locked in, that's what I'll say.
Are you actually locked in at Wimbledon, like literally physically locked in the bunker?
No, it's not locked.
No, okay,
we
can leave.
We can leave.
Okay.
I go and get a pasta or a pizza, a bit of fresh air.
Have you had any strawberries and cream yet?
I have had strawberries and cream.
And is it good?
I'm going to be so... Honestly, I was like, the cream had no flavour.
Does cream
There's
usually
a
have
certain
flavour?
like richness of cream, I would say. When you pour cream on
Okay.
something, you should be able to get a nice creamy kind
What sort of cream is it? at
pouring
Wimbledon?
cream.
Oh, okay.
It's not like hard cream. It's not like whipped cream.
Well, that would be naff, I think.
Strawberries
cream.
and whipped cream would be much better than strawberries and pouring cream.
No, I think what you're after is strawberries and double cream.
I think double cream is really, really good. And I know that every time I eat it, I feel like it's probably going to kill me. But hey...
But oh god, it's so good.
So good. I think Rishabh Pant, if we're keeping with the India team, because they're culturally relevant right now, probably Charlie for me.
Charlie XCX.
Charlie, baby. Yeah. Right, because...
Right. So would you
Charlie
say that
the Glass-
Rishabh Pant is in his brat era?
Yes. First of all, Pant has 4 letters and so does Brat, and that's where all good things start. The important thing to note with Pant, right, is that like loads of people hate him for the way he plays and everything he does, and they're like, it's stupid. He should just play proper cricket. If you dared look at the timeline on X, formerly known as Twitter, during Charlie's Glastonbury set, it's just everyone saying the exact same thing as they'd say about a Rishabh Pant knock. They're like, just make proper music. Why is she using auto-tune? Auto-tune used creatively is, for me, no different to Rishabh Pant falling over while he plays like a kind of scoop shot. You know, like it's
all about the vibes and it's about the entertainment.
all about vibes. And also, it's about vibes and output, because they're both, right now, incredibly successful.
Sure. And what I think we should do is sort of track this correlation between Rishabh Pant and Charlie XCX, because
Happy to keep up with this.
quite famously she's just burnt the brat flag at Glastonbury, which you could sort of argue is signifying that the brat era is over.
But she keeps saying it's not over, because she keeps saying that she can't emotionally let go of it, which, to be fair...
So I think we need to sort of, I don't know how we would measure it, but Rishabh Pant's performances
against Charlie XCX's career.
Charlie XCX's eras.
Yeah.
Well, Taylor Swift's probably trademarked the era, but the album covers, let's say, Charlie XCX album covers.
The one that Shubman's actually been saved for, that I originally had him down as about a month ago, would have been Tate McRae. Right, because with Tate McRae, everyone's like, yeah, but like, with the live performance, it's like, look, she might not be singing all the time, but she's dancing. Just look at her dance. It's a feeling, it's a vibe. For me, that's a Shubman Gill cover drive. And they're like, look, don't look at his test average. Don't look at his test average. He's not averaging 45. But like, hey, you can't tell me that he's not an entertainer. Unfortunately, now he's churning out proper results. I'm like, you've gone up now.
So is Tate McRae. She's got a song on the F1 movie.
Yes, but, you know, one good summer doesn't, you know, make a test player. So I think he's now kind of gone into like Dua Lipa territory. I'm like, you're captain of India, right? You're a big deal. You're a big deal. You know, I'm trying to think of who is then the current Tate McRae, where I'm like, hey, like you're kind of on the rise, but you need it to keep kind of going
Sam
your
Constas.
way. Yeah.
Bosh.
Yeah. Really, really high highs, but you're there like, oh, are you going to be a thing in 2 years?
Not sure.
Not sure.
I hope Tate McRae's is still a thing. Tate McRae's?
Yeah, Tate McCrazy. That's Tate McRae Cray. It's Sam Constas. That's such a good pull.
I need Tate McRae to still be a thing in 2 years, because she's really good on my gym playlist.
Yeah.
And I just need more gym songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sam Constas, I'm sort of less emotionally invested in.
I quite like him, so I
think he's fun. I loved the photo shoot with him and Phoebe Litchfield.
I was going to say,
really sweet.
Again, if we're going back to it, because it's obviously the most important thing in cricket, strong Instagram. Like
mega strong Instagram.
The carousel of him when he was visiting London for the World Test Championship, and there was a basically impromptu photo shoot of himself in a bookshop. I was like, yeah, I like this a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I see potential here, young man. Yeah, the Phoebe Litchfield thing was really nice. It was
really cool, and also really cool that they're having such a big feature in a magazine that is solely like the feature is about cricket.
Yeah.
Make cricket cool again.
Yeah. That's the thing that
again.
She's always
cool.
I dislike when people say again. Can I go off on this actually a little bit? First of all, when people say make something cool, If something's cool to you, you don't need other people to make it cool. Like, if you can derive enjoyment from it and you love cricket, you don't need, like, random people to be like, oh, that's a cool thing or not a cool thing. Like, we're not 5 years old, guys. Come on. Also suggesting again, at no point has cricket ever been anything other than, like, an incredible... In fact, cricket's probably less stuffy than it used to be.
Really impassioned by this.
I care a lot about this. Like, this is something I care deeply about. The concept of obsession with, oh, this thing isn't cool, it is cool. It's like... It won't make a difference to your enjoyment if it is. You shouldn't need other people to be like, yeah, I think more of you or less of you for liking this thing. Because, like, come on, man, you don't need that.
There are some things that I would definitely think less of someone for liking.
Such as?
Fascism.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to put it out there. This might be a wild thing to say. I don't know if fascism's really a hobby so much as, you know, like...
A lifestyle?
Yeah, you can't really be casually fascistic.
Fascistic, is that a word?
I'd say so.
Is it not just fascist?
I was just jazzing it up a little bit, but fine. Didn't know that you were such a fascist when it came to words. I can't believe you've just made this a podcast where it's what fascism. Anyway,
Sam Constas, Tate McRae.
Yeah. It's okay.
Fine with it.
I'm okay.
I don't want him anyway.
Yeah.
Girl, take him.
I think that's it.